Leisure the go. Leisure the go.
woke it up, don't woke it up, don't woke it up, don't woke it, don't woke it up, don't woke it up, don't woke it up, don't woke it.
And we are live, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Wrestle Pierce Raw Review. I'm your host, Ibu of Wrestle Pierce, the self-made of Wrestling Twitter. And I'm joined as usual by my co-host, Rob of Self-Made, formerly of the Island of Relevancy, formerly of the C Nation. And we're going to talk about last night's episode of Monday Night Raw. It was the follow-up to the Raw After Mania. It was another story-driven episode of Monday Night Raw. A lot of things happened. And we will break down what I thought was good on the show, as well as the things that did not work for me. So we'll get into that. I have a couple news tidbits on a couple things, some of which is the Sami Zayn direction, what's going to happen with Sami Zayn. I have some stuff on that. I have a couple more info tidbits just on Braun Breaker in general. So we'll talk about Braun Breaker. What else do I got for you guys? Listen, I spoke a little bit briefly about the NXT call-ups last night on Wrestle Pierce Worldwide. I'll kind of get more into detail today about what's the plan with those ladies. So it'll be a fun show, man. Guys, if you have any questions or any takes you'd like to give us, any information you'd like to know, send us super chats. Get those super chats in now. This will be another one of those shows where you guys drive the ship. So get those super chats in and get them in early. I'll do my best to answer as many of your guys' questions. So get those in. And beyond that, we'll talk about Monday Night Raw last night, a show that for the second straight week in a row, Rob, a show very centric on women's wrestling, and to the show's benefit, because a lot of the men's stuff on Raw at the moment, I don't know. But we'll get into it. Guys, like the video if you haven't liked the video already. Subscribe to Wrestle Pierce if you're not subscribed. And again, get those super chats in. Get those super chats in, man. You know how the Raw review goes. Rob, what's up, man? Talk to me. How you been?
I've been all right. Unfortunately, the weather kicked my ass yesterday because I don't know what it is, bro. Whenever I cut grass, the allergies,
Oh,
the weather
bro.
they start kicking my ass. So, but
This should be
I've
making
been
my
all right
legs
today,
itchy.
bro. And then my nose is like fried. I'm like, oh my god. Well, it's not fried, but starting to feel it. But
Yeah.
last night I enjoyed Monday Night Raw. Of course, I watched it on stream. On Twitch. You guys see the Twitch right there. And I enjoyed what was most of Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think the men's stuff was that bad on Monday Night Raw last night, but the women did shine last night. I will agree. Um
Mm-hmm.
and I'm interested to get into the rise, the return of Smarkdom, Ebu, the return of the Smarks to
Yeah, yeah.
WWE wrestling fandom.
It's now a thing, Rob. See, it was first something that I noticed on the Vegas shows, and it was like maybe this is just for the weekend. But now we have enough evidence to say that Smarkdom has returned to WWE crowds. And I'll say up front, folks, last night's episode of Monday Night Raw, a show where we started out with the new heel stable of Paul Heyman, Seth Rollins, and Braun Breaker. And Seth Rollins, he basically verbally tried to engineer a CM Punk chant, and the crowd said, "Fuck CM Punk." And then they basically like,
Yeah.
"Fuck CM Punk, we don't care." Um, Braun Breaker got cheers and dog barks. And in the main event of Raw, Braun Breaker annihilates Sami Zayn to raucous cheers and one more time chants and barks. Um,
Hey,
and this is, mind you,
there
this
was
is
one more
after.
name Rollins said, and Ibu doesn't want to acknowledge it, but we'll get into it when we get to the
We'll
segment.
get into it, but WWE fans now are going rogue, Rob. They are simply cheering for who they want to cheer for, regardless of what the face and heel dynamic is. Quite simply, it's just we like this guy. He's cool. We're going to cheer him. It doesn't matter what he's doing. It just simply doesn't matter. And I will get into the symptom. I'll get into why this is happening and if it's going to stop anytime soon. So um, here's your preview. It's WWE's fault. It's Paul Levesque's fault.
Yes.
It's not, people are doing the thing of why are fans coming to the show to do that? Why are the fans doing this? You don't blame the fans. You blame the company. And I'll explain why WWE is engineering a new version of Smart Fans. Because another preview, I don't think it's the old Smarks that were at the shows 5, 6, 7 years ago. I think they have
Even 10
created
years ago.
no. I think they have created new smarks. And it's like, why would you do that? You eradicated the virus, you stabilized it, you created a vaccine for smarkdom, and then WWE said, let's engineer some more in a lab and spread it out into the audience. That's what they fucking did. So we'll talk about how they did that, how that happened, and what's next. But again, guys, get those super chats in first. I wanna get those super chats in. I want this show to get 400 live viewers. We're at what are we at? 317, which is a great start. I want to get to 400. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. This is the best Raw review in the business. We'll talk about that as well as other stuff in wrestling. But take it away, Rob, with the super chats. Let's start right with them.
Let's start right with the super chats. Of course, you guys are running it with the super chats right now. Remember, you steer the show with your super chats. Clayton Boland, 199. Is this summer Sammy and Friends versus Dangerous Alliance? Who else?
All right. Well, I had some Sami stuff later, but I'll give you guys a heads up here. Yes, Sami Zayn will be among the babyface guys that will be fighting with the Seth Rollins stable for the entire summer. Like quite literally, like from now until like pretty deep into the summer, Seth Rollins and Sami will be at odds. There will be, I don't want to spoil people, so I'm not going to tell you guys the ultimate destination. But they're in the not too distant future. There will be a major Seth Rollins singles match with Sami Zayn. There will also be a blow off between Seth Rollins and CM Punk. You will also get a Roman Reigns Seth Rollins match. I asked WWE if that was Mania, and they wouldn't tell me, but they imply that you're going to get that singles match earlier than WrestleMania. So that's interesting. You're obviously going to get the CM Punk and Roman Reigns tag against Rollins and Breaker, but Sami Zayn will be an ally alongside CM Punk and Roman Reigns, which means Seth's team is going to need a third guy. But like I said, this group will not be a two-man unit. They will be adding people. This will be something that continues to develop over the weeks. I spoke to somebody in creative this morning, Rob, about what's been going on last night. And one of them mentioned a tweet of mine because I was complaining about Seth Rollins having the visionary vibe when he started the show. And they pointed out to me what I pretty much figured out by the end of the show, which was we are doing that to draw the contrast when Seth Rollins goes over the line at the end of the show by turning on Sami Zayn and curb stomping him. And they basically said that like this opening few weeks of the stable will be a transition process in terms of the presentation and in terms of Seth Rollins' general demeanor as a character. And Rollins, the performer himself, felt that it would not have worked for him to just do a complete left turn and completely change how he's acting because his character believes he's justified. So keep an eye on that. Seth Rollins will continue to transition in terms of demeanor, in terms of how he comes off, in terms of all that stuff, right? What else did I want to say? Yeah, again, Sami Zayn, he will be fighting with these dudes. You will get tags with CM Punk. So that's something you can look forward to. The thing about this, Rob, is there was a different stable planned, and they wanted to do it around Mania season. They wanted to set it up Mania season, and when that got nixed, it upset Drew McIntyre. But that original stable, they were going to do a bunch of multi-person tags on the European shows. The original idea when they booked the European shows, Rob, was it was going to be a bunch of like big main eventer tags, like 6-man tags and stuff like that. And you can probably guess who was in it. But yeah, that they ended up not doing that. And then after they ended up choosing not to do it, there were some ideas to try to like, what's the word? How do I put this? There were ideas to kind of like circle back to the plan, right? And they wanted to do it on SmackDown. And then Kevin Owens broke his neck, and that just totally fucked that up. And so then they went to Paul Heyman, who already had some ideas for Braun Breaker, and he just combined it with some of the things that they wanted to do with Seth Rollins. And so two separate ideas got combined, and they ended up doing what they're doing now, which is this Seth Rollins Dangerous Alliance group. So that's the deal with that. It will be the summer of Sami and Friends. Seth Rollins will get some backup here. I don't know when that'll be, but he will be getting some backup. What else did I wanted to say? There was something else. God damn it. Yeah, Punk's gonna have a singles match with Braun. They didn't tell me about Roman versus Braun, but you'd think that's gonna. You would imagine that's gonna happen.
Yes, I'd imagine that happens between now and next year.
Right.
WrestleMania.
But the ones that I got straight up confirmed were like Punk and Seth. Punk and Sammy tagging on TV. Punk and Roman tagging on pay-per-view. What else was it? Sammy and Seth on pay-per-view. Punk and
Yeah.
Seth on pay-per-view. So the last Punk Seth match will be a pay-per-view match. I can tell you that. What else did they tell me? Punk and Braun are gonna wrestle. That was also told to me. So Punk and Braun are wrestling. So those are kind of some of your little things to look forward to in the future. And I think man number 3 is probably like this part is a guess. I think man number 3 comes like Backlash or Money in the or whatever the show is afterwards. If there's a Seth match on the pay-per-view, I think that's when the guy comes. Remember last year when they did the bloodline tag, it was Solo and Tama versus Randy and Kevin, and in the finish that's where we got Tonga Loa, if you remember.
Yeah.
I think it'll be
Yeah.
a situation like that. So that's kind of your guys' first little bit of info.
Alrighty, thank you for the super chat. Theo, $2. Who wins the title first? Julia, Steph, or Roxanne?
Julia, Steph, or Roxanne?
Probably Stephanie, because she's the most over out of all the people that we're talking about in this situation. I feel like.
Yeah, brother. You know what's happening as we speak, Rob?
Yeah.
Triple
What's up?
H is looking at Shawn Michaels' toy box, and that nigga's sweating. He's licking his lips, right? And he's like, "Can I see that one real quick?" And Shawn's like, "You just want to see it? Yeah, let me just see it real quick." And he's holding it, and he's just looking at it. And Shawn's like, "Hey, give me that, nigga. What the fuck, nigga? You said you wanted to see it. What are you doing?" He's basically just holding his toys, and he's like, "Yo, I'm gonna borrow this, all right?" He's like, "No, nigga." He's like, "Oh, no, bro. I got you. I'm gonna borrow this, bro." Because Stephanie Valkyria is not internally listed as a Raw superstar. But I think she's going to be called up.
I think I think he's positioning her to be like presented before some sort of draft or whatever they do this year to move guys back and forth from Raw to SmackDown. Because I know we got the transfer portal earlier this year, but every year after Mania, they've seemed to do some sort of reset instead of the draft that they used to do in October. So,
Right. So here's the deal. Hunter, right before Mania, he wanted to call up 3 specific women from NXT to his main roster. 3. And I remember I got told about this, Rob. That's why I was on like Joe's channel, and I said basically that shout out to Joe Holbert. I said that like I think they're gonna do an angle involving like 3 NXT women on the main roster and Raw after Mania, and I assumed it was Jordan, Stephanie, and Julia. That was my assumption at the time, based on like what I was told, because I didn't get the exact names, right? And combining that with this is definitely building evolution. Yes, that was going to be one of the big things I was going to tell you is the evolution build has already begun. The evolution build has already begun. In fact, I was pretty impressed because I had a pretty good conversation with the writer this morning about all this, and they were basically saying that I think I said this last week, Rob. WWE has plotted out their entire build up until SummerSlam, and the reason that's major is because this was not happening in Mania. They were genuinely on hand to God, Rob. They were booking week to week during Mania season.
oh man, wait, hold on, Ibu. Oh man, you don't say. You don't say, man. What could possibly tell us that they were booking week to week for Mania season? I just don't. I really don't know. I really can't put my finger on it, man.
Yeah, it's crazy, Rob. Like Braun Breaker does an angle with AJ Styles, and then it gets dropped in like 2 weeks, and then he's feuding with the Judgment Day. Like it's crazy, bro. Like it's just wild. But so what I wanted to say is the evolution build has already begun, and the way they're setting it up, like they're really proud of this. They have this like overarching like Avengers type of situation that they're setting up here, and it involves Becky and her change in demeanor too. And I won't spoil what's going on with Becky and what she's gonna do, but some of what I tweeted a couple months ago that may have sounded like a prediction. Maybe it was not a prediction. You're gonna see some generational battles. And I don't mean generational as in, oh my god, this is generational content, which it might be, but I mean like as in literally like generation, like the old guard fighting the new guard. You're gonna see a little
Yes.
bit of that. You're also gonna see some cool matchups. So that's happening. But with regards to the NXT call-ups, here's how it was explained to me, Rob. Julia and Roxanne are Raw wrestlers. In Triple H's mind, they're his. They will continue to appear on NXT for the next 4-ish weeks. I was told they're gonna clean it all up in terms of like settling the dust and giving people like the right people the championships by Battleground. So basically, Shawn Michaels has 4 weeks to dot his I's and cross his T's in terms of what matches he wants to do, things he wants to do to wrap certain people up, that kind of thing. So that'll happen over the next 4 weeks. And coming out of Battleground, you'll get like new champions, and it'll be based on who Hunter wants up on his main roster. So that's kind of the deal with that. I have a sneaking suspicion that by the time Battleground's done, I don't think Stephanie will be the champion anymore. But we'll see on that. We'll see on that.
I don't
right
think.
now, what's up?
I was gonna say I also don't think the influx of Stephanie Valkyria usage on the main roster is just because of like call up or evolution. I also think they're using her for the bigger audience to get her more popularity going into Worlds Collide, because she was up there during the presser Mania weekend, during the Mania kickoff show for AAA. So I think that they might be like, I don't know, obviously I don't know shit. I'm not a scoopster. Don't want to be, but but I that's also why I think that they're also using her heavily because of the Worlds Collide show. So
AAA is a factor for sure. They want their audience to be as tapped in with her as possible. I do think she's gonna get called up though. Personally, I do think they're gonna call her up. I think
she might be like later on during the summer type thing.
No. I think she's losing her championship at Battleground. I think she's losing the belt at Battleground.
Do you think we're getting a draft this year?
They said they were gonna do it. So to me, that screams to me that they're gonna announce it in a couple weeks, and then they're gonna do it like after Battleground. Again, the way it was explained to me was like, it's hard to tell who's on what show because everybody's appearing on NXT and Raw, but like that's just because Hunter doesn't want to just take these people cold, and Shawn didn't fucking wrap up certain guys. So, that's the deal with that. And again, I think we're getting a title change at Battleground. I'll be honest. I straight up asked Jordan Grace. I was like, "Yo, are you winning the belt? Like, what's going on with that?" Yeah, and y'all can tell me if you believe this or not. She said, "I do not know. They didn't tell me yet." So there you go. What else was there? Something else. Oh, another thing. In case you missed it on Worldwide. I was talking to somebody in WWE about the setup of the shows, and they said to me that Paul Levesque coming out of Mania was like, Robert, are you there?
Yo, they just booted me from the fucking studio. What the
what
fuck?
the hell was that?
I was you were like, also guys, if you didn't listen to Worldwide, and it was just like, actually, you're not connected to your internet. And I was like, what?
That's incredible.
What were you saying? Were we asking me? Sorry.
Oh, okay. So Hunter apparently decided coming out of Mania, like he said, I want Raw to have an identity. I wanted to have a specific thing that it can hang its hat on and be like the thing that it can like brand itself around. And so someone in creative told me that Raw will be the show where like the women's division is the primary like calling card and focus. And like they want like internally, it's like Raw is the home of the elite women's wrestling and the best women's wrestlers. That's how they want it to be done. And then SmackDown, the idea is SmackDown's the home of tag team wrestling. SmackDown's the home of high-end back and forth tag action, Fraxium, DIY, the Garzas, the Machine Guns, the Street Profits. They want SmackDown to be the show where they have the focused tag division, main events where it's the tag teams in the main event, that kind of thing. So that was the whole deal.
Yo, I didn't get to ask you this because we didn't have a conversation. What did you think about the tag team main event? I seen your tweet about it.
Yo, it was really good. It was really, really good. I hate ladder matches in the modern day. I'm very bored of it. I think it's like I just get the feeling that I've seen everything there is to do in a ladder match, and in spite of that, they got 30 minutes uninterrupted, no commercials, and it's hard not to just feel happy for the people involved because, like, for example, the Machine Guns, right? The Machine Guns are not what they were in 2008. Like, everybody knows that.
Yeah, no.
But they're in WWE now, and generally speaking, they have like 3-star matches to crowds that don't really care. That's generally been the story of their main roster run.
Right.
And you look at that and you go, dang, how many more times are they going to have a match that has heat that's like actively great? And so to see them work their ass off and have an actively great match that got like the crowd's respect was just nice to see. It was like good for them, right? And so they worked their fucking ass off. DIY were killing themselves in there. And the Street Profits look like one of the best tag teams on the planet, Rob, regardless of promotion or country. They look like one of the best tag teams in the fucking world. And the truth is, they are one of the best tag teams in the fucking world, but WWE doesn't give them an opportunity to show it a lot. So
right.
they came off like absolute superstars. And I thought the match got better and better and better as the minutes kept going. Like, it was like, the first half was cool. Those last like 10 minutes, you know what they did that was impressive to me? You can't create a near fall in a ladder match because it's a ladder match. Yeah. It's not a fall.
Yeah.
And yet they did this thing where like every spot that you thought was the final spot, you're like, okay, that's the last bump. They would do another one. Like, remember when Montez, he got pulled into the ladder, so he was stuck in between the rungs, and then Gargano super kicks his head, and he's stuck in there. I was like, oh shit, so that's it. And then when this motherfucker, because like I want to say one of the guns is on one side and like Johnny's on the other side or whatever, Montez climbs the ladder through the inside of the ladder, where he's like climbing through the inside, and he's like in between the both of them. I was like, what the fuck? When Angelo Dawkins recreates the edge spear off the ladder through the table, I'm like, bruh. So a lot of great ideas. The skull and bones through the ladder, the fucking air raid crash through a ladder, the swanton bomb through a table. A lot of great ideas in the match. And all I could think of, Rob, watching was, why wasn't this at WrestleMania?
Yo, did you see Dawkins and Montez had an interview after SmackDown? And they said it on the interview after SmackDown. Corey Hayes posted it. He was like, man, it was really great to show what the tag team division can do on SmackDown. And he was like, and we went out there and showed why you shouldn't have left us off of WrestleMania. Like, he said it.
Rob, if this match happened at the 2-night event, it would be the second or third, or at worst, third best match between both nights. Between both nights, 14 matches, it would have been top 3. And it was good enough to where people had mixed feelings on the first night. If this match is on night 1, it raises the rating of that show by like 1.5 points. Like,
absolutely.
Let's say you think night 1 is like a 5 out of 10 show. It makes it like a 6.5 out of 10 show, or maybe a 7, because it just changes the vibes of the viewing experience. Like, just imagine, no offense to the New Day, bro. Imagine you watched night 1, right? And it went from Jey Uso versus Gunther, which was fine, to that TLC match. Imagine you put the TLC match on night 1, and then take the New Day match off, and then maybe add like 4 more minutes to Grande Americano versus Rey Fénix. You're getting a different show. It's a better show.
Yeah, and you definitely would have had to take 10 minutes off the ladder match, but like it still would have been one of the best things on the show. And I feel like what WWE has to do is, because Triple H and his administration is trying to make it seem like it's a different administration, yet they're still doing the exact same shit Vince used to do. In the fact that they're not going to do the Profits ladder match on WrestleMania because they don't have a name, whereas they're going to do the New Day at WrestleMania because the New Day have a name. Well, okay, that may be the case, but you still have to present new people and newer tag teams. The same reason why you got it was Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano first. We ended up getting Rey Fénix versus him, but it's just like, that couldn't be Rey Fénix to begin with, or that couldn't be Dragon Lee to begin with.
It always should have been like, the younger luchador. It always should have been the younger luchador.
It's like how are you going to position a guy to be the next Rey Mysterio if you keep fucking using Rey Mysterio for all these big spots? It could make him just as big a star for them to walk out with Rey Mysterio.
I agree. That was always my opinion on it, and I was like, all right, man. Now Rey has to fucking get an abductor strain surgery. He's gonna miss Worlds Collide now, and it's a real shame. I hope they don't just abandon all the luchadors that are left in his way, because there were so many that were behind Rey, and it always feels like they have an aversion to using these guys when Rey's not around. Like when Rey's around, these guys will tag with him, like Dragon Lee or whoever it is. But when Rey's not around, these guys start to disappear, if you notice. And it's like, no, man, they should be fighting in Rey's honor. They should be showcasing themselves, and it should be a thing of when Rey's back. It's like, oh, cool, it's Rey, Rey's back. It shouldn't be okay. We're all in catering until Rey comes back. Anyways, Kale said, I think that's fair, but I do think the younger luchador was always going to beat Gable at the end after Gable beat Rey. I mean, maybe, Kale. They were going to do the Rey Grande blow-off was allegedly going to be at Worlds Collide, but it's going to have to be somebody else. All right, what else did I want to fucking touch on here with this super chat? Yeah, oh, the tag division. Yeah, so again, SmackDown will be the show focused on the tag division. Raw will be a show hanging its hat on the women's division. The way it was also explained to me, Rob, one more note. So, like, when Hunter puts the TV together, basically he's aware that, like, the work rate on Raw's roster comes from the women at the moment. And so they'll carry the in-ring on Raw. And that, like, the Jey Usos and Logan Pauls of the world, they'll do, like, the talking shit. That's kind of how he's, like, going to set it up. And then on SmackDown, the in-ring on SmackDown will be carried by the tag division. Speaking of which, expect a couple new tag teams to be made on SmackDown. So just, you can take that however you want to take that. Expect some tag teams to be made. So that's that. Another thing to look out for. They are doing a Saturday night's main event at the end of May, a couple weeks after Backlash. Some notable stuff will happen on that show. And also they are going to build to a big reunion of the Lucha Brothers. So that's another little tidbit there. What else? All right, so that was that super chat. Go ahead, Rob.
All right. Ish 499. Why does it feel like they're de-emphasizing Kris Statlander?
It's weird, man. Like, I think Kris Stat works her ass off. She's very talented. I think she's one of the best women's wrestlers in the company. And I feel like they use her as a setup girl a lot of times. They use her to set up Megan Bayne. They use her to set up Jamie Hayter in this tournament thing. And I don't have a problem with Jamie Hayter, very good wrestler, but I feel like Statlander in the totem pole with the fans has more equity with the audience. I feel like she's done more great stuff with the audience. And I don't know. Kale said she's a female Adam Page. She feels lower than Adam Page though, because at least Adam Page gets like main event roles. I feel like Statlander like is a situational main event women's wrestler, and it's one of those things where like they know she's really good, but the fans like know it more than they do. I guess it's weird. It's just
I don't like, and I discussed this on the Dynamite review 2 weeks ago, and I discussed it. I just don't like the fact that Statlander put in all that work last year while Jamie Hayter was out. And she had all those great matches while Jamie Hayter was out. She had that great series with Mercedes Moné.
Those matches were fantastic.
And then and she comes to the Owen and she just loses. When in reality, what you could have done, you could have had her and Mercedes in the final, and you could have had her get her win back on Mercedes to go to All In to win the title. Like I don't give a fuck about this manufactured fucking storyline. Like I said, y'all keep trying to do with Jamie Hayter. I don't care about Outcast lore, bro. I just don't. That's not something I'm into. I'm saying no.
Yeah, I think Statlander's awesome, and hopefully, she gets rewarded for it, man. Her match with Willow Nightingale last year, the All Out one, that was like what I compare that to because of how much of like an epic car crash it was in like 11 minutes. In not the exact same way, it felt like a lady version of Masato Tanaka and Mike Awesome. Just two badass motherfuckers destroying each other in a car wreck. And the match, like when you look at it, was like short. Like it was just the spots came one after another, bang, 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 bang. So all the best to Statlander. Hopefully good comes to her. And I'll use this opportunity now to say that, folks, I got some AEW news coming into the Self-Made Discord right after this podcast. If you're not subscribed to Self-Made, you definitely should, because I have a pretty major news update. Coming up really, really soon. Basically, At Selfmade PW on Twitter. Follow that account if you don't follow it already. At Selfmade PW on Twitter. In the bio, there's going to be the link to the Twitch. A link to our Patreon. And if you click it and join for just $5, you get inside the Selfmade Discord. And we do all kinds of cool things. We do watch-alongs, we do game nights, we do movie nights. Most major wrestling events are we do watch-alongs for in there. You'll get access to our archived content. Speaking of which, we will be uploading some more archived content very, very soon. But beyond that, you get some of the podcasts. I do impromptu spaces, usually 2 to 3 times a week, where you guys get like news updates and extra reviews and things like that. And so most of those get archived, and you'll have access to that. But beyond all of that fun stuff, and a lot of it is fun, and match recommendations that we do, which is also fun. Beyond all of that, folks, I will be in there right after this podcast. Right after this podcast, I'll be in Selfmade, and I will be breaking some pretty notable news. So if you don't want to miss that, hop in, join the Discord, $5 to get in, and I will see you guys there after the podcast. Notable news. There you go. Thank you.
Okay, we read this one. Not Josh Toffee, $4.99. Cool, Raw, but thoughts on y'all team's NFL draft and the NBA playoffs? Yo. I'm not talking about the NFL draft, bro. I don't want to talk about it, bro.
Jackson Dart being selected over Shedeur Sanders for the Giants is very questionable. I spent a lot of the last 3 days, Rob, watching a lot of NFL podcast content because I wanted to be like, yo, am I just being biased? Am I just being ignorant? Like, what's really going on here, right? So I was listening to a lot of these niggas, and the shit these niggas are saying is basically, oh man, listen, it's not a great QB class. It's not an elite QB class at all in general. Between Shedeur not wanting to do the combine and the way his dad was moving and how he was basically telling teams, certain teams, I don't want you niggas drafting my son, and then him being on that energy until February. That was a lot of the defense for Shedeur Sanders sliding in the draft. Him sliding to the 4th round, that was the talk. And it was I guess now he's going to be behind 4 of the quarterbacks in Cleveland. And here's the thing.
Behind.
Yeah.
Behind.
Well, here's the deal.
Yo, you think any of them niggas playing over him? You're crazy.
Well, here's the thing. I do think within a few weeks, I do think he's going to beat out a lot of those dudes and start. I do think he's starting in his rookie season. I do think it happens before the midpoint of the season. So I think Joe Flacco gets the start. I think what's my man? What's Mr. Massage Parlor's name again? That nigga's finished. I think Shedeur gets to start at some point in the season. I like what the Giants did with some of their other picks. Our defensive line looks sexy. And that's kind of all I got to say about that. The NBA players have been an interesting player. Deshaun Watson, sorry.
The Saints drafting, we need a quarterback, bro. And them niggas going, you know who we need instead of Shedeur? I wouldn't even be mad if they took Tyler Shuck. No, not Tyler. They did take Tyler Shuck. I wouldn't be mad if they took Jackson Dart. But these niggas saw Tyler Shuck's throw during the I think it was the combine or whatever the fuck it was he was throwing during, and they say, we need that on the team. I was like, are y'all dead ass? I'm not, But the thing about it is, Ibu, it is, do you know who he was backup for, Ibu?
Who was he backup for, Rob?
He was backup for Justin Herbert in 2019, bro. Mind you, very, very injury prone. You know what? Shout out to Snow. Wait, I'm at the hold the Mayo show, local New Orleans show here. A nigga on the show said, "Yo, Ibu, you know what they call niggas that have been in college for 7 years, Ibu?
What are they?
You know what they call niggas? They call them niggas doctors, Ibu.
They call them what?
They call them niggas doctors, Ibu.
Oh.
That's what they call niggas that have been in college for 7 years. They call them niggas doctors.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to talk about the NBA playoffs either, man. NBA playoffs have not been good to me either.
They announced EO on NXT tonight, and I think they're gonna do EO and Stephanie versus Roxanne and Julia on this episode of NXT. which is not Io and Rhea versus Roxanne and Julia. I think
Yeah. Yeah. I think that happens at the pay-per-view.
I hope it's the pay-per-view, but it might be Saturday Night's Main Event because Triple H is woke. Triple H
Oh
is
yeah, I
woke,
forgot.
and he's gonna fucking put the lame matches on Backlash and the cool matches on TV.
Back to 5 matches, pay-per-views.
Oh, brother. NBA playoffs, real quick. So, interesting first round. Best wishes to Damian Lillard. 35 years old, tearing his Achilles. I think that's it. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it's very sad. Very sad.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody can stop the Boston Celtics. And realistically, I don't think any team will. I think they're going to beat the Knicks. I think they're going to face the Cavs, and that's going to be a bloodbath. Looking at the West, LeBron's getting his shit pushed in, bro. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. The Lakers have some roster holes to address. Jalen Brunson has been the best player in this Pistons series, but that's common sense. Anybody that thought it was Cade Cunningham is a fucking idiot. This guy's never played in the playoffs, and there's nothing against Cade is great, but like, bro, he's never played in the fucking playoffs, and people are picking him over Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns. Like, have some sense, you know. What else is there to say on the playoffs? The Warriors' experience is showing. The fucking Rockets, man, like, great regular season, and these niggas they're fucking turning into like little bitches in the playoffs. Jimmy Butler is doing his thing. The Warriors are gonna go to the second round.
Oh no. It's kind of a mix of that and Draymond Green just being the ravenous thug that he is. You know, it's kind of both. It's kind of both. But
Sure.
I do agree with you. Their inexperience and their immaturity when it comes to making the playoffs is very much showing. But
Yeah.
it's not like Draymond Green is not also at fault here. He's just being a dickhead as usual.
As usual, as per. And to wrap this up, I'll say that OKC, I think, are going to the finals. It would
Yes,
be
they are.
interesting if the Warriors could stop them, but I don't think they have the firepower to match them. And we'll see if OKC can take out the Celtics or the Cavs. So,
I'm on the Lakers front. I'm not very upset about Ant beating the Lakers right now, and beating LeBron right now. Because Ant is my next face of the league. So like I'm not I'm not like and he's like the next guy I'm gonna like stand when LeBron leaves. So like I'm not like super duper upset that he's beating the Lakers right now. I just think it adds to his resume that he beats Braun and KD 2 years in a row back to back,
that is
cementing
an aura
himself in the
boost.
league.
That's
So
an aura boost.
yeah, it's a mad aura boost. So
Yeah.
I'm not mad.
Thank you, Josh Toffee.
Now if it was the Warriors, I'd be upset. Hey. Black Yakuza 94. $2. Y'all are on time for once? Yes, you're on time.
Yeah, we
Very
tried to be
much
on time mainly because I got to be in self-made after this for the big update.
Yeah. Masp 199. Do you see a draft happening? I think Ibu just had said a few
Yeah,
minutes ago.
I think so. And even if not a flat-out draft, they're gonna make a couple roster shifts for sure.
You need to bring the superstar shakeup back. It's time.
Oh, brother.
KM Raider at 199. Jay Uso versus Logan Paul and RKO versus Cena. Hashtag woke it up. Yo, don't tweet us.
Yo,
You
I
can tweet
really
the
hope.
first part. Don't.
I
Tweet
hope
us.
Jey Uso versus Logan Paul is not a Backlash match. If y'all peep, they didn't drop a graphic for it for Backlash, and I don't want to cope because Backlash is what in next week, isn't it next week?
Yeah, it's like next week.
I hope that this is just a match for Saturday Night's Main Event.
Yeah, that's what I think it will be. I think because WWE like wrongfully, stupidly still thinks like Logan Paul is this huge draw and this huge social media draw.
Do it, then put him on NBC because you know what I want.
Yeah, like that's what I was about to say. Like,
Thank
so
you.
they'll probably just put him on NBC.
It's one thing already to have to watch that match. To have to watch it on a show where you're looking at the preview, like, where are the good matches coming? So, look, put that shit on NBC. Let Rhea and Io versus Julia and Roxanne. Let that match be the Backlash match. So that's what I would do. I'd expect the U.S. title 4-way added to Backlash. Rob, this is Damian Priest, Jacob Fatu, L.A. Knight, and Drew McIntyre. And I'll say this about that: WWE clearly saw how much of a hit the multi-person matches were at Mania, and they're like, "We're gonna keep doing them." So, sure.
Also, I think I also think that because I'm not really like the one of the people that's like, oh brother, Gunther versus Pat, because unfortunately, Pat McAfee is like an ex-athlete, so he's not really going to be like horrible in ring. The problem I know that everybody is having with this,
his previous matches weren't bad. His match with Adam Cole was a good match. I'm pretty sure he was in War Games. He was fine in that. In fact, I don't know if this is a hot take, Rob. Pat McAfee is a better promo and wrestler than he is a fucking commentator, like by a lot.
It's crazy, bro.
He's way better as a celeb wrestler than he is as a commentator. I'd actually much rather Pat be a part-time, what's it called, novelty match guy than a guy I have to fucking listen to when I watch Monday Night Raw.
We're getting tonight, Michael Cole.
Shut up.
We're getting tonight, Cole.
It's so annoying. Like, just be quiet. Enough. Braun Breaker's killing Sami Zayn, and he's just like, the dogs are barking in Kansas City. It's like, shut the fuck up, dude. Please, god damn it.
Like I said, I'm not like, obviously it's like, why are we wasting a Backlash spot on this? But I do understand that he's an athlete. And he's kind of has the biggest talk radio show in the world, and unfortunately, he's pretty decent when it comes to the wrestling shit. So
yeah,
I can't complain.
My thing with Gunther and McAfee, Gunther's going to be doing side missions for the next little bit. I have no issue with that. He's not. He just lost the world title, and you want to keep him busy because he's not going to win it anytime soon. So I don't mind him doing side missions. And I don't even mind this matchup for the reason I just outlined, that McAfee is fine as like a novelty celebrity, whatever the fuck. And Gunter's just going to kick the shit out of him, right? So the problem is Hunter is stingy on these pay-per-view cards. And it's like booking that on Backlash when you know there's only going to be 4 other matches. Maybe they break format, but I doubt it. But if we know that Backlash is 5 matches, it's like, fuck, dude. Just book that on, again, that's another one. Book it on NBC, man. If they drop the graphic Gunther beating the fuck out of this guy on NBC, I'm like, yeah, fine, go ahead and do that, But doing that on Backlash when it's like, fuck, I wanted to watch Seth Rollins wrestle, I wanted to watch whoever the fuck wrestle. I don't know. Here's another one. They're planning to do a rematch between Gable and Penta, right? I don't know when that's gonna be. I'd take that at Backlash, but I don't think it's gonna be on Backlash. So that's the deal with that.
Oh my god, yo, Ibu. Did you see the video package last night for Cena and Orton, Ibu?
You know what it reminded me of? The Cena Orton series is a generally really bad series of professional wrestling matches. Most of them are really fucking terrible. But their 07 SummerSlam match is very good. Their very first SummerSlam.
You know what it is? Their 07 SummerSlam matches is really good. Like the 2009 series is like whatever. You feel how you feel about that.
It's dog shit.
Yeah, but like the mid 2000, like the Royal Rumble match they had in 2014, I enjoyed.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like they have some good matches, but I'm living the dream, brother. I'm getting this one more time. So hey, it's not about quality for me, brother.
I'll say this about the Backlash match. It could be good, but it's like I'm not gonna count on it. I'll say this: Randy Orton is in good form right now. I don't give a fuck. I enjoy Randy more now than I ever have in my life, truthfully. I think this is the most authentic he's ever been. Him in St. Louis in front of that live crowd that like is like a Randy crowd, that should be great. The question is, here's the problem. If they go long, it's gonna suck. And if they do a fucking cinema gimmicky bullshit finish, it's gonna suck. Because Rob, the worst case scenario is they go 30 minutes and then we get a ref bump and then blah blah bullshit and then a low blow. That's garbage. That is, fucking belt shot to the face. Like and the problem is I don't want to invest in this match because I know that's gonna happen. Because here's the thing: when does Randy lose clean? Randy doesn't lose clean.
I don't think Randy gets pinned here. I think he does the STF that he did on Punk, where he actually does the STF instead of the usual one he does, and he passes him out like Gunther did him. Because Randy, how many clean pins has Randy taken since he came back?
If
Not
Randy
many.
passes out in the FTF, I could live with that. Again, if they just keep it simple and do 20 minutes professional wrestling,
You think you're getting 20 minutes?
but the thing is, that's the thing. If they go 30, this is gonna suck. It's gonna fucking suck. And then when the ref gets fucking bumped, it's like, oh my god. So we'll see. I that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a version of that match that's good, but I'm not counting on it. So I'm not gonna rely on it. I'll put it to you this way: if they have a 3 3/4 with great heat, it would not surprise me. But if they had a 2.5, it also wouldn't surprise me. There you go.
Hey man, I'm living. 490. No, we okay. We read this one. I don't know why that one's before the other one. Alex H, 2 pounds. Sammy was good last night. Still won't win gold.
He will at some point.
I think he wins the Royal Rumble next year because it's in Saudi.
Mm-hmm.
I do think he wins the Royal Rumble next year. Sports Fanatic, 40 rupees. Thank you for the 40 rupees, brother. Billy Fubel, 199. What's Cody's spring direction? When is he returning?
I'll tell you what. The one guy they won't touch when I talk to them is Cody. They won't tell me what's next for Cody. I don't know what to make of that. They'll tell me all this stuff about Braun, and they'll tell me all this stuff about Punk, and all this stuff about this guy and that guy and the women and Evolution. I asked Cody, and they won't tell me. Cody was supposed to be on this Friday's SmackDown, and then they changed their minds and opted for him not to. So I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I said it myself. I think he should take a break to at least after not a long 5-month break like Roman did, but at least until after like main event later on this month in May. So
I wouldn't mind it. I don't think it's a bad thing to make the crowd miss him, But yeah.
who does he feud? Now the question is, who does he feud with when he comes back? Because he can't feud with Cena straight out the gate.
I don't know, but I'll tell you this: I'd like Cody Rhodes to be moved to Raw.
Yeah, but then you'd have to.
I'd like Cody moved to Raw.
Okay, but then how does he go on his road to getting the WWE title back?
Good question.
Because you can't move Cena in the WWE title to Raw on the same show that the Rollins and Punk in the business is going on, unless you just move that whole thing to SmackDown.
That's fair.
DB the Sage, 499. Having a Jay Logan segment immediately after the Great Women's segment is a hilarious setup. Yo, man, I was so sad, bro. Yo, Ibu, I have to ask you this question in front of the 500 people that we have here in the audience.
Mm-hmm.
What was the last viral Logan Paul moment, period, for him to keep having these big spots, Ibu? I have to ask.
The last one that I remember, the last Logan Paul adjacent thing was ISO Speed getting RKO'd last year. But Logan directly, I feel like it's the double clothesline with Ricochet, the springboard clotheslines in the Rumble. Remember that?
And what year was that, my brother?
That was 2023.
So that's the last time he was viral for WWE purposes.
Yeah.
The last time okay, let's say the Speed thing at WrestleMania last year was viral too. Speed was viral with the Royal Rumble with no Logan Paul. And it's just like now he hasn't had a real viral moment that's not outside of WWE in ages.
You know what? That brings up a funny point. I feel like I'd care.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'd like, because when Logan comes on, I'm zoned out, right? I feel like I'd be more tapped in if Speed was with him, bro, because Speed is funny. But okay, finish your point.
It's like his act, but that's the point. His act is just like he's not viral without anybody else. And WWE brought him in because he used to go viral all the fucking time, but now he doesn't anymore. So what's the point? What's the point of him getting these big matches and opportunity? There's heels on the Raw roster that they could be using at Backlash to face Jay. In the meantime, before this, they start the Seth feud, by the way. So like, why aren't they using them? But no, we got to go straight to Logan Paul.
You know what's funny? I tweeted about how Miro is an upcoming opponent for Jay. And I think it's so funny that people were pushing back on that because, nigga, I'm sure you niggas would take Miro versus Jay over Logan Jay. I'll say this about the segment, and this is not me like defending it or even saying the match will be good because I don't even want to watch it. But so Logan Paul, his act is very shallow, right?
Yes.
And because of that, he doesn't have stories with any depth. Hilariously, though, in a weird way, it kind of fits Jay because, no offense, Jay Uso, his baseline surface appeal is also shallow. Not that he can't cut promos with substance, but his surface level appeal is shallow. And so when Jay came out to interrupt Logan and they're doing the yeets and they're just turning up with Jay, it kind of just felt like this is the type of broad, like Vince era program that kind of works, if that makes any sense. And what I mean by that is like, it's just asshole versus the cool turn up guy you like. And
Right.
in a weird way, I'd rather see Logan in that than Logan ruining somebody I like really, really, really care for. So like for example, wrestlers that can do more, like a Sami Zayn. I don't want Sami Zayn fucking having to deal with Logan Paul. But Jey Uso being the turn up eat man and he looks cool and he's iced out and the crowd is turning up and Logan just being like the asshole for him, like in a weird way, it feels like it kind of feels like compatible. So like I guess what I mean by that is like the TV segment works with those guys. Do I care to see them wrestle? Not really, and I don't know what that match looks like. Like I'm not sure that's very good. Black Yakuza said contain reveal. Basically, like it's like, all right, man, like let the two fucking no, again, I'm not trying to dog Jay, but like let the two shallow acts that the crowd likes to just react to, like let them be in their little square, so to speak. And I'm watching it and I'm like, yeah,
Also,
this is kind of the broad, big room matchup for like the WWE audience that is into that kind of thing. So
also,
yeah, again,
I enjoyed Jay's promo too. Before we move
he
on,
came off well. He just came off cool. He was pretty locked in yesterday, so he came off cool. I like seeing that. After this, though, I think I think they need to move Logan either to multi-man matches or a tag team. To be completely honest with you, bro, last year there was a period where he was rolling with A-Town Down Under, and I thought that kind of fit. I thought
yeah,
him.
that fits him. That fits him. But they're still stupidly locked in on this slow burn Austin Theory face turn
That
for
nobody gives
whatever
a fuck
reason.
about.
That
That
nobody
nobody
gives
gives.
a fuck, bro. It's been going on for 2
I'll be
years.
honest, bro. Listen, Logan, Theory, and Waller being a fuckboy like trio of white boys, just having tag matches against like baby faces. That's fine. That's fine. I can live with that. I cannot live with Logan Paul. Hey yo! And then he stands out and he's like, "Y'all are mad. Y'all are mad because you're
Y'all
poor.
are mad cause you're poor. Y'all
Y'all
are
are mad
mad
because
cause y'all don't got that much money.
you don't understand because I go viral. I make moments. Y'all are incels. Y'all are da da da. And they're like, boo, you still. It's so boring.
Or when he knows he's thinking of a promo, he just goes, "You're poor. You're poor.
It's
You
ass. It's fucking
you're
ass.
poor."
Anyways, let's move on.
Sports Fanatic, 100 rupees. I'm concerned that the women's tag won't make it to Backlash. What are the current plans for that story?
Well, so
They
that's what I'm
told you
saying.
pretty much this
So
morning.
yeah, like I think we're getting a tag tonight, and I think the real one will happen. Not think I know it will happen. I don't know what show that is, and that's what's making me nervous because it should be on Backlash, and I'm hoping maybe it is on Backlash because of the fact that they haven't announced Logan versus Jay for Backlash. But I don't know. I think Backlash needs that match personally, and I'll be very upset if Paul Levesque is like, "We're doing it on Saturday Night's Main Event."
I don't know, man. I hope they do it at the pay per view
Yeah,
and Hunter doesn't woke it up.
I agree.
Gunther, not Josh Toffee, 199. Gunther, please compromise McAfee to a permanent end. Unfortunately, he won't.
Like I said, man,
McAfee's not going anywhere until college football season starts
I need
and
that nigga
the
to take a
NFL
hiatus.
season starts.
I need that nigga to take a hiatus.
That's when his hiatus is, bro. You're not gonna get a McAfee hiatus till September. August to September. Excuse me. John DePriest, 999. Ibu, I bet we see Saraya return to WWE soon And could we see any other AEW women's talent jump ship to WWE besides Mariah? Listen, Saraya returned to do what? To do what?
I mean, look, I don't know. I'm not gonna just immediately dismiss what she would contribute because I don't know what she wants to do. That's a question for Saraya. Regarding other AEW women, I don't really see any other notable ones happening imminently. If that's what you're looking for, buddy,
The role I enjoyed Saraya in the most before she left WWE the first time in her 5 years of being on the main roster was not even her in the wrestling ring. It was her when she was the SmackDown general manager.
All right,
But
well,
she was decent at the job.
All right, well, maybe they're looking to do something like that again. Maybe she's Nick
I'm
Aldis.
just like, what do we?
Here's the thing, Rob. Ray is not like a delusional person. Like I know people like to like. She's not She's very like realistic and like looks at the lay of the land. And what I mean by that is like, if she comes back, she's not gonna be like, oh, Hunter, like put me against Io Sky in the main event of a pay per view. I think she's gonna see like what's going on and be like, all right, well maybe I could fit in this way or that way. So, like. I wouldn't be shocked. Like if she comes back, I wouldn't be shocked if she took a role like that, where she's just an
Evolve already has a GM. It's the Stevie Turner lady from NXT.
Yeah, but it's fucking Evolve. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, like, and also I don't think Saraya is gonna come back and be like, yeah, put me on Tubi.
I think if Saraya comes back, she'll fit in totally fine in some role that she's willing to take. I don't. She's not gonna be running in there going like, yo, put me with Rhea Ripley in main events. She'd love to wrestle Rhea Ripley, but I don't. I guess my general point is, it's not really a thing worth like freaking out about. Like she's going to fit in wherever there's an opening and just nestle herself in that. That's what she did in AEW at the end of her run. People didn't like the whole Outcast thing and her getting the big title win and stuff. But like by the end of her run, she was just on Rampage with Harley Cameron, you know, doing comedy. So,
oh, we're good. We got. I'm trying to think of a British person on the roster. I'll think of it later. Hush 199. Not looking forward to 2026 Logan Paul World Championship reign.
I will not let that happen.
Boy, what the fuck? Yo, where did that come from? What the fuck?
I just won't let that happen.
That's not happening ever. I don't feel like. CN 10 euros with EO on NXT tonight. I'd like her to wrestle someone like a Soul, Kalani, or Jordan. Julie and Roxanne come out after to attack. Stephanie saves her and sets up tag for the main event. Hashtag good food.
You know what's annoying about Eel being on NXT is I think NXT is a really stupid and bad show, and I don't want to watch it. And now because EO is here, what the hell? Let me see here. I was gonna say now that EO's here, I have to like see what's going on, which is very annoying, because now I'm going to accidentally have to run into like a Lexus King segment, and it's like I don't want to.
Don't zeep my demon.
Bro, they're doing Lex. Let me go to NXT's Twitter. They're doing Lexus King versus like Ricky Starks. Like, what type of show is Shawn Michaels, bro? Like, what is?
Don't tweet my demon.
Oh no, I can't do this, bro. I just went to NXT's Twitter. The first tweet after Trick Williams attacked him at Rebellion. Will TNA World Champion Joe Hendry accept Shawn Michaels' open invitation and appear in NXT tonight? I can't do it, bro. I can't do it.
You know what it is? You know what annoys me about NXT though, Ibu, even though I'm like, I obviously still love NXT. Like, you know what annoys me about it? I'm like, man, I'm very excited for the next step of NXT and where they're gonna go and taking the wrestlers on the roster. And then they're like, yo, you like Joe Hendry? And I'm like, no, I don't.
Leave me alone, bro.
Stop.
I'm scrolling through their social again. Lexus King versus Ricky Starks. I'm good. I'm seeing a graphic with Tony D'Angelo and Stacks. I don't know if this is a match or a segment. I'm good.
Sean, instead of Joe Hendry, can we please get Tavion Heights minutes? I haven't seen Tavion Heights wrestle in 3 weeks, and I kind of like to see him wrestle again. So
I'm looking at this other graphic. We got Inamura and Briggs versus Hank and Tank. That'll be fine. What else we got here? Yeah, I don't need any of this in my life. I'm just looking at like I'll just
are you looking at their official page? Or?
I'm looking at their official page. This is just not a show I'm going to watch. And I like EO. I'm gonna be tapped into what EO got going on, but I can't watch this. Yeah, so
I'm gonna make a list of talent sitting on the bench, and I'm gonna tweet over that Joe Hendry tweet. Be like, "Yo, Tavion Heights did the N1 to take a backseat to Joe Hendry, who doesn't even get big pops in his own promotion anymore." Brando A1 $4.99. 2025 is the year of women's wrestling. I don't know what's going on with the men's American wrestlers and being far worse in comparison. I don't think it's that bad, bro. I genuinely don't think it's that bad. We still got Will
I think what it
Ospreay.
I think
Like
what it
we
is
got
is
we got
go ahead.
Omega. Like we're good, bro. Like
So for
I don't know
me,
why.
Rob, I think what it is just that the women's. I know I get it. It's just more interesting to me personally, and I think part of it is just I keep saying this every week, but I know what peak modern American men's wrestling looks like. We've been seeing it for years. I know what the epic Osprey match looks like. I know what Cody Rhodes' main events look like. I know what any person you name. Like I get it. I've seen it. The women this year have the talent to justify being in big spots, and when they
Yeah.
have been in big spots, they've knocked it out the park, and that's what's been fun to watch. It's
Yeah.
fun to see Tony Storm, who again I was never like a timeless Tony person. That match with Mariah May was incredible, and
Yeah, I
like
mean,
EO's
amazing Tony Storm carry job. But
no,
I mean,
no, they both worked their ass off, and beyond that, dude, like EO Sky has been fucking terrific for a long time, and now we're finally getting to see her be like the ace of the company, which is crazy. And like between Stephanie Vaquer and Rhea Ripley and Bianca and fucking Athena and Mercedes is doing great. And Mercedes is touring the world. There's just a lot to like with the women's wrestling right now. So I'm into it. And regarding Raw last night, um, the women's stuff was awesome. We had a match with Rhea Ripley and Roxanne Perez, and I watched it back commercial feed. Good shit, man. Just a good fucking wrestling match. Roxanne really good at her. It was during a commercial break because I watched the Netflix feed. Her adeptness at doing a control section is something that you normally don't see for wrestlers that are like 22, 23 years old. And she's working the fuck out of Rhea Ripley's knee. Rhea's doing some good selling. It's a very logically worked match. Anytime she tries to dive on Rhea Ripley catches her. Rhea Ripley gets her with power moves. Roxanne tries to beat her with craftiness. It's just a good wrestling match. It's just nice to watch. I was really into Rhea Ripley and Roxanne Perez. We get a DQ after Julia comes out. Hunter really wants to do Julia versus Rhea Ripley. Like he's like fucking horny for it. So I'm looking forward to that too. And the other thing, Rob, this is why we need more Rhea Ripley matches. First of all, she's a superstar, right? And you see watching the match, the crowd is just super into Rhea, and they're into her in the old school way. Like I'm gonna point it to the audience like this. Normally in wrestling, modern day, they cheer for like the sequences and moves in the finishing stretch. Here, they're just cheering for the momentum shifts, like it's the 1980s. What I mean is, Rhea Ripley will be selling the leg because she's getting kicked in the leg, and then she'll just like hit back with like a punch, and they're like, "Yeah, yeah, get her!" Like just literally the babyface getting the momentum back in the match. Like they're cheering for Rhea Ripley. So beyond that, and the fact that just it's better for Rhea's rhythm that she wrestles, I want more Rhea Ripley TV matches. That match is good. Rob, do you remember the Razor's Edge she gave Roxanne? She
that
fucking
was crazy.
he Razor's Edged her on her fucking dome and then ran in with a shining wizard right after. I was like, nigga, this is good shit. We get the DQ. Julia comes in, causes the DQ, chop blocks Rhea Ripley. Io Sky makes the save. And I'm just watching this like, oh, this is just lovely. This is just lovely. What a fucking stacked division this is. So that was good shit. Also good shit was, yo, Ivy Nile is underrated, bro. She's very underrated. If she was on SmackDown, nigga, she'd be
Yeah.
like if she was on SmackDown, she'd be like a top 5 wrestler in that division. It feels like because Raw is deeper with like high end wrestlers, she's like where she's at on the card and the totem pole. Nigga on SmackDown, bro. Nigga, she's better than fucking
Hey,
Zelina and Chelsea and a lot of them,
listen.
a lot of them girls, bro.
I said, listen. I'm gonna say is this, Ibu. I said that doing what they did with American Made last year at the beginning was a bad idea when it was taking place, and people jumped me for it, saying I don't like fun, saying I'm a horrible human being, saying I'm a piece of shit, calling me a gay loser that knows nothing,
Wait, over
and
what?
over me not wanting them to be jobbed out by the fucking Wyatt Six. And all I'm saying is, bro, all I'm saying is Ivy Nile is putting on good matches. The Creeds, when they're on TV, are putting on. Well, they're not going to be on TV for much longer very soon, but um, they all put on good performances, and it's just like they get nothing. They get nothing as a reward for it. So I just don't understand why like we don't use Ivy Nile in these bigger positions, bro. I would move her to. I would absolutely move her to SmackDown, bro. If you're gonna have Julia and old girl on Raw, I would move Ivy Nile to SmackDown then, because that would get her more of a positioning. I know they have the women's IC title, but that women's US title division cannot continue to just be Chelsea Green and Michin and Zelina Vega and Piper Niven. They need some juice in that women's division, period, but they need especially juice in the women's United States title division, because the women's championship division has Nia, Tiffany, Charlotte, maybe, if she even comes back to SmackDown. But they have those women in it, right? Which is fine. But the women's US title division is stagnant with women that get no reactions whatsoever when they come out, except for like Piper Niven and them, because they
Hmm.
love Chelsea. So
Yeah, I agree. I thought her match with Stephanie was really, really solid. Really, really solid. Well worked match. Stephanie Valkyria gets superstar reactions. I think I listen, man, generally speaking, I've enjoyed this American made versus Mexican wrestlers storyline, even though Stephanie's not Mexican, she's Chilean, but she does lucha libre, so it's really more American made versus lucha. So this is a nice extension of that, finding that connection and getting Stephanie back on the show. The ladies worked their butts off. Chad Gable's doing good character work. In general, he's doing good character work. His segment backstage where he was really goading what's my man's name, Penta, and he was just kind of like, my favorite part of WrestleMania was when your fucking bum ass brother got beat by Grande Americano, and then fucking uh, 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 Penta super kicked him, called him a pendejo, and he was basically just like, don't disrespect the Lucha Brothers. So we'll see where that goes. I'm looking forward to the Lucha Brothers reunion, and we'll see what happens there. The other women's thing that I think is worth highlighting, Rob, that Becky Lynch Lyra promo was fucking great.
tremendous. Oh my god, it was fantastic the way that they basically like they put their real, not real life feelings into it, but they put like a real life type of feel, and they put a real type life type of emotion into it. Like they felt these things about each other. It was tremendous. I don't really like the big time Bex inflection from Becky because it's very like corny sometimes. But I do feel like she did a good job last night with Lyra.
You know what I was happy about it, Rob? So Becky was a heel that wasn't trying to get cheers. She wasn't just trying to fucking. She wasn't just trying to fucking be cool or get cheers. She knew her role was to be a piece of shit, and she has her own internal justification. But it isn't in that like Drew Seth way where like it's almost too sensible. If that makes any sense. You want a heel to feel like they're justified in what they're doing, but we should still like disagree with them or think that they're fucking delusional and that they're making an excuse. But the way Becky Lynch essentially took the real life Bailey situation that people are very frustrated with, and she weaved it into kayfabe, was beautiful because it was meta, but not in that like wrestling is fake meta kind of way. It was just, y'all are mad about Bailey, and she basically was just kind of like, Bailey's trying to get you all, I'm crying, I feel bad for me, and the way because folks, if you missed it, she essentially said that Bailey is going on this big sympathy tour, and she wants people to like her. That's why she wears other wrestlers' merchandise, and she comes out to other wrestlers' theme songs. But she doesn't know what the fuck this business is. Like that's not how you basically are a star. And she saw what a real fucking star looks like. And she pointed
She's
to
been, yeah, she was like that's she's like she still doesn't get how to get yourself over basically without saying it,
yeah,
which I like that she didn't say that.
right. I also like that she was like, we're not gonna do a multi-week mystery whodunit. It was me. I did it. And here's a couple crowd tricks, folks. Becky has a couple really subtle, well done crowd tricks. The crowd didn't actually boo that reveal that much. They were kind of like, okay. And she did a couple tricks to make it seem like they were like rebelling against her, and it actually created more boos. For example, she goes, "Oh, I did it." And she was like, "No, no, 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 no! You're not gonna get mad at me! No, 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 no!" And the thing is, by doing that, she started actually generating more boos, even though they were actually not like going against her that much. It's subtle tricks like that when you're cutting a promo. Performance-wise, it works. But she goes on to basically tie it to the real on-screen lore, which is I've been fighting Bailey since 2019. We've been going back and forth. And she wanted to flip and switch up and do this whole PR thing, and it's not gonna work on me. And she said regarding Lyra, they say that the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Well, the friend of my enemy is my enemy. And she basically framed it like I discovered Lyra, I made her, I gave her life, I put her on this fucking earth, and she turned around and she fucking befriended what she said this bitch regarding Bailey. And she basically was just kind of like, look, I helped her win the belt, but the tag belts, but she's fucking compromised. And one of my issues with this whole Bailey thing, with this Becky thing overall, Rob, was the fact that I thought that Lyra, in Becky's absence, I thought Lyra was really gaining ground in terms of her own development as a performer and her gaining equity with the fans. I thought the title defenses and the tags with Bailey, she was coming off really well, and it kind of annoyed me that like it felt like at the time it felt like Becky was returning and essentially like wiping all that off the table as if like she's just this new little rookie again. And Becky pulled that into the story because she's taking credit for anything that Lyra has done. And she's basically, and Lyra comes out and she points out that like a lot of people warned me about you. Bailey warned me about you. The other girls in the back, this and that. And she's just like, I'm not taking it from you. And they're going back and forth about this shit. And she said, like, I realized like you're a myth, like everything about you. And they go back and forth. And the best part, Rob, the part that had me pumping my fucking fist was Lyra was like, look, I want to fight you. And I know you're only going to take the match if I put this title on the line. So let's do it at Backlash for the IC belt. And Becky says, I'm going to make that matter. Talking about the IC belt. And just like I made you matter. And Lyra was like, you didn't make me matter. I made me matter. And I was like, yes, that's true. Let's go. And she was saying like she's going to beat her. And she said like, I'm a better human being than you. She said, I'm going to show I'm a better human being than you. Because we already know I'm a better wrestler than you. And I was like, yes, let's fucking
Yeah.
let's fucking go. That's a character with agency, with confidence. She's not this fucking bright-eyed like, oh, Becky, why did you do this to me? Oh, you hurt my no. She's like, bitch, you're a fucking fraud. You're a fucking fraud, and I'm better at wrestling than you. I was here, you were gone. I've been putting work in these streets. I'm not taking that shit from you. And so I liked her puffing her own chest back out. She didn't get swallowed up in the moment in the segment by Becky Lynch, the bigger star, like Tiffany Stratton did by Charlotte a couple times. And part of that, to be honest, is because Becky Lynch, for better or for worse, she understands wrestling a bit better than Charlotte Flair does. Like objectively, it's just a flat out fact. And here, Lyra got to stand on her own too and puff her feet out and not come off so small in contrast to Becky Lynch. And she said, we all know I'm a better wrestler than you. And I love that also because again, when I get into wrestling programs, Rob, what I want to see is them make it about the belt, make it about who's better, who's a better wrestler, who's this and that. And Becky Lynch is with the bravado and the I'm a star and this and that. And I brought you into this world shit. It's the right for the other wrestler, the babyface, the up and coming person to basically fight against that narrative, right? And then the other part about this performance that worked was that's the point where Becky Lynch knew to ham it up and be over the top because she was like, "You little pup! I brought you in. I did." And she's doing all this stuff and she's raving, and it's very 80s heel type of shit, Rob. Where like the 80s heel starts to crash out right at that moment, and right when they're crashing out is when the babyface pops them in the fucking mouth. You know what I mean?
Right.
Ric Flair would do that. He would be like, yeah, you son of a bitch, Ricky Morton. You wouldn't even be in this company if I didn't. You get punched in the fucking face. You know what I mean? It's that type of shit. Becky Lynch here, once the face told them a hard truth, that's when they get really mad and they lose composure. They're the ones who are fucking like just insecure now and they're losing their mind. That's where you ham it up and you go over the top. So that was a great performance, Cork. And lastly, the other thing I want to put over, Rob, is Becky Lynch. She was a heel here, right? And she was not working for Cheers. And you know what she didn't do to get heel heat, Rob? You know what she didn't include in her justification for any of this? You people. She didn't do you
Oh,
people
brother.
bullshit. She didn't go, no, no, no. I did what I did to Bailey because I hate you fans and how you fans treat me and how you fans tweet about me. No, fuck that. These people do what they do for their own personal motive. It's not about wrestling fans, bro. Like the fans shouldn't be your motivation for like as a bad guy. They shouldn't be your motivation for like actions like that. They should just simply react to it. So
You're
I
not gonna lie. You're not gonna lie. You're on Cena's dick.
I
Anyways,
didn't even mention John. I didn't even mention John Cena.
yo,
I didn't even mention John Cena.
remember what I told you.
I didn't even mention John Cena. I'm simply saying Becky Lynch had good material, and she didn't do any hacky bullshit. You know, she didn't do any you people shit. So that was strong, very, very, very good.
Chat. Does Becky Lynch have the highest WrestleMania buy rate in pay per
Oh
view?
God, let's not get off.
Highest pay per view
Let's,
buy rate in
let's
wrestling?
not get off track. Let's not get off track. Like seriously, let's not get off track.
I was just asking. No,
No,
I'm just
it
asking, bro. I'm just
doesn't
asking
fucking
questions.
matter.
My bad.
Let's
Just
not get
asking
off track.
questions.
I'm not even. I'm not even.
Speaking of getting off track, we do got like 30 super chats though.
I just wanted to cover it because these are the main parts of the show. So I wanted to get that
Yeah,
through so I
obviously.
don't got to worry about it later. So yeah, I just thought between the material and the performances, it was really, really strong. And the other thing I want to make mention of is it's one thing to let talented women's wrestlers just wrestle and show their ability, like Rhea Ripley and Roxanne and Stephanie. It's another thing to creatively assist them with quality material and writing that they can work with. Because a lot of times in these women's angles and promo segments, they're given like bare bones bad shit, and they have to do their best to elevate it. Becky Lynch spent a lot of her creative elevating like bullshit. Here, it was good material that they were handed, and it aided them. It didn't anchor them, and that's important with the women's division and their creative. So, all in all, a really strong night for the women's division on Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, no. Thank you for the super chat. DB the Sage, 199. Io Sky, the Ace, Joe Hobart the Prophet.
What happened?
No. DB the Sage said Io Sky, the Ace, and he gave Joe Hobart credit for being the one to tout that originally.
Joe didn't tout that. That was me.
Oh, I guess.
Anyways,
Well, he said, wait. Well, they gave Joe Hobart the credit, bro. So I don't know. Hey,
typical
pick that
Russell
up with-
Purist audience crediting a white man for the black man's achievements.
Hey, man. You know how they get down. Ryan Cicchini, $13.99 Canadian. I get the Pat hate, but the wrestling aspect is way better than commentating. He knows he needs to be killed. When he wouldn't doubt he bleeds. Also, Gunther was the only heel he still booed from the crowd. Now that's very interesting because while Pat McAfee does do a lot of mainstream shit, he is a mark, and I bet you he's willing to bleed if he has to.
I don't know if he's going to, but he'd definitely be willing to. And yeah, to that point, Gunther is one of the only villains that still gets booed by this audience, which I do.
Because it's not like Pat like he does be on ESPN, sure, but it's not like Pat McAfee is like this super duper movie star that be doing movies and doing TV shows and shit like that. He's a nigga. He's a nigga with a sports radio show. So it's just you know what I mean. So it's not like I doubt he would be like, oh, my sponsors are gonna get mad at me because he runs around on College Game Day drunk throwing up at the studio. So like I doubt he would care about sponsors. Stephen Conroy, £4.99. How do you even possibly rescue this New Day run? They're in too deep, but it's kind of really bad. Yeah, Ibu,
Ugh.
did you have any thoughts on this?
Whew, I don't know, bro. I think Sheamus and Miro beating the shit out of them would be fun. But in terms of the act, I just think the act is mid. I just think it's a mid act, and I don't know. I can't even visualize them doing a serious promo segment or promo angle, because again, their genre of heel work is to just like do generic, this crowd in this city sucks stuff, and it's
Feels like
very mid card.
it feels like Big E was supposed to be involved in this.
He was.
And it feels like once if they probably found out that he couldn't be involved in it, they were just like, well, what do we do now?
I think their best bet, honestly, if the New Day are gonna just be kind of like comedic, like in terms of tone. Honestly, bro, just have a fun program with Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne and use it as a way to get Tyler Bate over. Let them cut promos on these guys and make fun of them and shit, and then let these
Why don't they
guys.
use it as? Why don't they use it to get Pete Dunne over, bro?
Anyways, I think you'd be better served doing a month where you just kind of have them fucking around with these dudes, and if you want to make it comedic, like at this point, like fuck, it is what it is. So that's kind of my thing.
I'm just asking questions. Thank you for the suit, but I do agree, and like I said, it feels like Big E was supposed to be involved in this, and when if they probably found out that he couldn't be, then they were basically just like, well, what do we do now? And they just been. I mean, the commentary was funny last night, but the bells
They
got
were
to
they
ring.
were they were like a
And,
musical.
yeah, that Mania match was very stinky. Black Yakuza 94, $5. So is the babyface era of WWE dead and gone? What does that mean going forward for the current hate faces and heels? Also, wonderful start for the J, for this J/S. What does that mean?
Maybe he means title reign. Listen, here's the deal, man. They were doing a lot of programs going into Mania that were not face versus heel. Like, let me pull this up. Actually, I'm gonna pull up the Mania card because at WrestleMania, Rob, there were a lot of matches where it was not face versus heel. Let's look here. WrestleMania 41. Let's go to Wikipedia. Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair. There were no heels in that matchup, Rob. Correct?
Yeah, they weren't. They weren't.
Let's really look through this, bro. Let's really, really, really look through this, right? Because I'm gonna make a bigger point here. All right. LA Knight, Jacob Fatu. Is Jacob really a heel? Like,
no, he's supposed to be. He's supposed to be, but he's too fucking cool.
He's not
To be a heel, and it's not like he's trying. No, he's not trying to be cool. He does evil shit. He's just like he's a real nigga, bro. Niggas love real niggas,
right? And so that's
Breaker. Real niggas love real niggas.
And so my point there is that LA Knight and Jacob Fatu is really a babyface match. CM Punk, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, 3 babyfaces. Rhea Ripley, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, 3 babyfaces. Dominic, Braun, Finn, and Penta. The crowd only disliked one of the 4 people in that match. Randy Orton, Joe Hendry, 2 babyfaces. Cena, Cody Rhodes, they don't believe Cena's heel turn. They leaned away when WWE started to lack main event heels last year, and they didn't rectify that. And so fans just cheered people that they liked. They just cheered their stars. And I think you couple this with Paul Levesque telling fans repeatedly that this is fake, over and over and over and over again. And I think between that and then him shitting on the online fans when it comes to what they like and stuff, I just think you create an environment. I just think you create an environment where the fans just go, this is just a show. This is an entertainment show. And I'm going to cheer for the people that entertain me. And the funny part about it is, I think this is the easiest era to work wrestling fans since the early 1990s or late 80s. Wrestlers that try to work fans succeed all the fucking time. Ricochet works wrestling fans every day. And WWE should be taking advantage of this. You know how Dominic Mysterio got over, Rob? By committing to his character. Go back to like when he joined Judgment Day. Rob, he lived the gimmick in real life. He lived the gimmick in real life.
The clips of him pulling up to Ray's house with Rhea was tremendous. They were tremendous.
Right. And he hung out with Rhea Ripley. And he rolled in real life with the Judgment Day.
So much so that he was on when he was talking on a podcast the other day. I forgot who it was with, but it was somebody mainstream. He was talking about winning the title, and he mentioned when he ran back to the ring, he stays so much in character that he said that he didn't even acknowledge the fact that the crowd was cheering him. He said he pointed the title directly at his mom to basically show her like I did it and I did it before Dad did in a very short amount of time. So that's how far he stays in character.
He will in interviews take subtle digs at Rey Mysterio. Basically, the point is he's in character at all points, and because of that, none of us know the real Dominic Gutierrez. Nobody. But people like the Dominic that he presents himself as in interviews. I promise you, even when he's just talking about regular real life shit, he's always in character. Roman Reigns never turns it off. Never turns it off. Ever. He goes to ESPN. He goes to Ariel Helwani. Roman Reigns. And here's the key. People think when I mean by like not turning, I'm not saying you got to be fucking in interviews. Hey, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. It could just simply be you're always operating within some level of kayfabe while talking casually. And why is that important? Because wrestling fans are fucking gullible. And whatever you do outside of the ring should be something that in some way services your TV shit on some level. And it affects how fans perceive you. I say that to say a lot of the most over people in wrestling, you believe them because they are who they are everywhere you see them. Contrast that with Paul Levesque, who is intentionally over and over again pulling the curtain and trying to expose this and trying to break the immersion and ruining that and reminding you that it's not real and that it's just entertainment and that it's just a show. Look at how I helped this entrance for Jacob Fatu. Look at how I did this. Look at how I did that. Look at how he wrote the show. Wrestling is a story. Wrestling is a movie. And it's like you continue to do that. And then people aren't going to buy into these conflicts. They just won't. CM Punk. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I
was going to add to the point. You're angering your fan base when you do that because you're basically calling them fucking idiots. You're basically like, pay attention to the story, idiot. We're not trying to make it real, idiot. We're telling you a story, moron.
And here's the thing. No offense to wrestling fans. A lot of them are not intellectually equipped to even understand what they're consuming from a story standpoint. They're just reacting emotionally. And so if you know that, you should be keeping them on your puppet strings. What I'm saying is they're gullible. Work them. And they're not trying to work them. And it's look at the final boss last year when Rock was in. I don't know what the fuck Dwayne got going on now. But last year, Dwayne was in character everywhere. Remember the Instagram videos? Like, that's money, bro. CM Punk is a big example. CM Punk loves the gray area. He lives in the gray area. He operates in the gray area. He likes it when fans don't know the line between work and shoot when it comes to his segments and his comments. He likes that. He likes that you don't know exactly where he stands with certain wrestlers in WWE. Be it Seth Rollins, Kevin Owens, or Drew McIntyre. He does not want you to know if he hates them, loves them, is in good standing with them, or anywhere in between. That's how he makes his money. Because Punk knows the moment we know exactly what's going on, like let's say Punk is totally in lockstep with Seth Rollins and hugging him and writing stuff together with him. He knows he's losing money by doing that. You're actively losing money because the appeal of CM Punk's programs is the belief in the animosity between him and his opponent. You lose that, you lose money. So he keeps that gray area. I'll tell you this, folks. Last year they wanted to do a Punk documentary. And he straight up said, you can film me in my house. Don't fucking try to record me during like a creative meeting or anything like that. Don't ever fucking do that. It's important to keep that shit sacred. Fast forward to now. And we're now in a situation where with this being dismantled by WWE actively trying to break it in front of your eyes. The fans go, okay, so I don't have to believe in any of this. So I'll just cheer for the cool stuff. I'll cheer for the good guys. I'll cheer for the bad guys. I'll cheer for the good guys. I don't believe in the conflicts. It's a big difference. It's a big difference.
Yeah, and it's kind of sad that I don't understand that like you would see them do that with Vince McMahon, Vince McMahon did the same thing, and that kind of killed what he was trying to do. And you're basically doing the same thing as Vince McMahon, and I just don't understand why you're continuing the tradition.
Bro, their audience was in lockstep with them. WWE's audience cheered the good guys and booed the bad guys. Why would
Yes,
you ruin that? You
that's why
finally
Dominic
achieved,
Mysterio got booed out of the building for 2 years.
you achieved the premium desired reactions that any promoter would want. Oh my God, our baby faces are over and our heels are hated. Wow. And then they said, let's
Yes,
ruin this. Sammy's bro, the bloodline were always like the Roman bloodline was a cool group, Rob, right? And like I'm not gonna say they never got cheered, but when Sammy was in opposition to them, they cheered for Sammy. You know what I'm saying? When Roman fought Sammy, they didn't cheer Roman Reigns. When Roman beat Sammy down in angles, and so you don't pull the Montreal excuse, because in other arenas, when Roman was beating up on Sammy, the crowd booed Roman Reigns, even though the fans know Roman's cool. They know Roman's cool, but they knew in the moment we're supposed to be cheering Sammy. When Kevin Owens fights Roman and when Kevin Owens fights the Usos, we're supposed to cheer Kevin Owens. When Cody Rhodes goes against the Bloodline, when he goes against Roman Reigns, we're supposed to cheer Cody Rhodes. When these guys face the Judgment Day, we're supposed to cheer them against the Judgment Day. Gunther's a bad motherfucker, but when Chad Gable fights Gunther, we got to cheer Chad Gable. So on and so forth. You had that audience, and you turned them into smarks. Because let me make something clear, Rob. This is not the cynical 2017 fans returning to WWE. No, this is the new WWE fan that they created with this boom. They turned these people into smarks. They made new smarks. Why would you make new smarks? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? They made new WWE branded smarks. You reap what you sow. And now you're gonna have to fucking fix it. And once you're in that situation and they're reacting like that, it's very hard to fix it. It's very hard to fix it. You're gonna have to retool your babyface unit. You're gonna have to make them cool.
bro. hey, let's now that we here, let's have that talk.
No, there's nothing to talk about. Punk got booed. It's Paul Levesque's fucking fault. It's his fucking
I'm gonna let
fault.
y'all know. Hey, Seth Rollins said, like CM Punk. Them niggas said, boo, whoa, and then they started doing the whoo, 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 whoo. But when they said Roman Reigns, when they said Roman Reigns, the crowd went, yeah, and the crowd went, yeah, and they said OTC, OTC, OTC. Meanwhile, remember, guys, Roman Reigns is a kayfabe terrorist, kayfabe terrorist to the wrestling world, kayfabe bad person to the wrestling world in terms of WWE.
Julia has like this like blog that she writes in. She said shit on WWE. Diva stands are so fucking gullible, bro. They believe in reality TV. Julia should fucking in those blogs be like, I think the WWE audience is so stupid. I think they're like she should just bury them. Honestly, she gets so much heat on Twitter.
Yeah, yeah, look at the chat. Look at the chat. It's damn.
Brother.
It sound like the Kansas City building live and in effect.
Oh,
my
brother.
God. Oh my God. It's so
Rob,
glorious.
I'm so hyped. I'm so ready for Braun Breaker to spear Roman and get fucking cheered.
Okay. What the fuck? Like,
I want to make something
I'm gonna be hyped too.
Once wrestling is broken like this, it's so hard to get it back. Here's a good example. Rob, I don't know how much of the two-man power trip you watched, but Austin and Triple H were fucking cool. And the WWE audience wasn't going to boo him. Vince McMahon booked Kane and Undertaker to take on Triple H and Austin.
Yep.
We're not cheering for Kane and Undertaker, my nigga. What the fuck,
right, like,
no,
yeah,
we're not
bro,
cheering.
I'm cheering these 2 7-foot monsters over these two. What?
And so to try to get heat, they had Jim Ross beat up. They had Austin beat up Jim Ross. The crowd was like, anyway. And then they had them beat the shit up out of Lita. And the crowd said, yo, this is fire. This is
the crowd said, yeah, I'd beat her ass too.
They're like, this is fire. Because here's the deal. if they're doing the most interesting and entertaining shit on the show that you know is a show and it's not real, we're gonna cheer for the most interesting and entertaining shit on the show. So they cheered that. And you know what finally got the power trip booed, Rob? Okay, what do we put them in opposition to, like some really cool and really dynamic young wrestlers? They put them in the face of Jericho and Benoit, and they finally got them booed.
Yep.
Finally got them booed. But in general, once you create the smarks, you're in a decade-long fight for your life. You don't reverse that overnight.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're literally in a decade-long fight for your fucking life. Because you literally have to drown them out you have to create more new fans that aren't used to this shit to flood and drown them out. That's what you have to do now. So Triple H took these new fans he made and fucking radicalized them. He's fucked. He's fucked from that standpoint.
Yeah, it just really like it's gonna get crazy. Also, to this point, Seth is kind of cool in this role, but he got to stop wearing them outfits, bro. It's time to stop the outfits. Though them goofy, you can't be. I'm doing this for the greater good, yada yada yada, so on and so forth. And you're sitting here walking down to the ring in goofy ass glasses and long fucking trench coats. You got to stop that.
I'll say this about Seth, Rob. I think that was to draw a contrast for later in the night when he kills Sami Zayn. I
hope so.
I think last night was the final night of Visionary Seth.
I hope so, because
you
gotta the drip god era is over, bro. You gotta stop that.
I think it's done. I think it's done.
Peyton 499. Raw was good, but Mako's retirement match last night was incredible. Tag team match of the year to end the career of a god. I did not see that match.
Yeah, thankfully it's on Wrestle Universe, Rob. So I'm gonna definitely check that out because Mako Satomura's legend, and every picture I've seen of it, and like every like screenshot and clip looked really cool. And so many legends were there. Chigusa Nagayo, Aja Kong was literally in the match. Kenta Kobashi was there. All these Japanese legends were there. So I'm gonna watch that. I'm looking forward to it. It's really a changing of the guard in pro wrestling, man. So many legendary figures are stepping away from the game. It's interesting to see who carries the torch in every place in the industry. But Mako Satomura is a legend, and I'm looking forward to watching that retirement match. I'm gonna do it tonight. So there you go. Thank you, Peyton.
Right. DB the Sage, $9.99. If Pat doesn't get squashed, then what are we even doing here? Gunther ran through a chunk of the roster as IC champ. If it's a 50-50 match, then what kind of message does that send to the locker room? Like I said before,
they're gonna have like a 7-minute match.
They're gonna have like an 8 to 10-minute match, bro. It's not.
I don't think
15.
it goes 10 minutes. I don't think it goes 10 minutes.
You don't think?
No. This is sincerely not. This is sincerely not a thing even worth discussing.
Yeah, like I don't think it goes that long, bro. 10 minutes max. Hush, $4.99. Why McAfee versus Gunther on a pay-per-view? It just makes no sense unless it's gonna be a blood angle. Backlash doesn't look good outside of Cena, Cry, Ibu, and back. Oh, please talk.
Yeah, I don't. Again, like I said, I'm not in disagreement with this. I think, ideally, in my opinion, you got to add the women's tag to this. The U.S. title 4-way should be on this, and in a perfect world, we'd get some type of Seth Rollins Dangerous Alliance match. It doesn't matter what it is. Just any kind of Dangerous Alliance matchup would be a good thing to put on the show. And you go 6 matches on the card, and that would help the show. Because here's the thing: you can't rely on Cena's match. You just can't, even if it's good. But you just can't going in. You can't rely on it. So yeah, that's the thing. I also hope the Logan Paul match is not on this show. The graphic hasn't dropped, so I'm really hoping that's Saturday night's main event.
Pedro T, $1.99. Thoughts on the Smashing Machine trailer?
It looked good, bro. It looked good.
It was great. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be like the first Rock movie in a long time that I'm just gonna be like, yo, this should be really good. Obviously, like Moana exists, duh, but like this one looks like it's gonna be really good. That's not in the Disney universe. So, Artemis Prime 273, $5. So is the whole thing of Bailey not feeling like she's as over as Becky at work? Because I can't tell now.
I mean, that's not a thing Bailey actually thinks. She's just disappointed with not being at WrestleMania, and that's a shoot. and that's something that they worked into the storyline. The Becky Bailey stuff was a shoot that they turned into a work.
Yeah. Stephen Conroy, £4.99. Who would you turn face to help with this smart situation? Feel like a face leaning Drew could help. Also, more super workers wrestling, Phoenix, Andrade, etc. Yes.
Yeah, I do think that's what 2010's WWE did, is their way to combat the Smart problem was to give the super workers the ball. So I do think this WWE is going to have to find a solution, and I think their solution lies in that to some degree.
No, it has to be a long term thing.
Mhm.
Unlike Vince, who gave the Smarks favorites the ball for a short term, but
Yeah, Vince was
long-term
very
thing.
much a throw the Smarks to bone periodically type of booker.
MP Juk £2. Sammy winning the Rumble in Saudi. I assume I already said. I pretty much assume that he's winning the Rumble in Saudi. Don't know, but I assume he
I
will
put
be.
money on it.
Yeah, name I'll never say. $2 for both of you. Who takes the title off of Tiffany?
Naomi.
Yeah, probably. She should. It should be Naomi.
Mm-hmm.
Doing the best work of her career right now. Nate, $3.55, $2. Which of the 3-1 series are most likely to go 7?
Let me pull it up. It's crazy, bro. There's a lot of 3-1 series. A couple of them were super close to being 2-2. The Lakers fucking blew a lead. The Rockets don't know how to close the game. Let me pull this shit up now. I don't want to jinx the Knicks, but the Knicks are very Nicky, and I could see them niggas fucking losing.
Because I hate the Warriors, and every fan of the Warriors ever, I'm hoping that the Rockets can turn it around, but I just their maturity level is just way too off to do so.
Let's see here. Magic Celtics 3-1. That's ending. That's not going more than 5. That's ending tonight. Let's see here. Bucks Pacers. Pacers are gonna wrap that one up. Yeah, the Bucks aren't winning that. What else do we got here? I could see the Lakers winning 2 straight. I don't know if they can lock in that much to pull it off, but it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, I feel I would love for them to do so, but we'll see. And we got the Knicks and the Pistons. I didn't say the Knicks and the Pistons yet. I think that goes 6, but I don't think it goes 7.
It will.
So there we go. Latest on AJ Styles, Ibu.
There is no new update.
Okay, Ryan Sacchini, $6.99, Canadian. It's Triple H getting antsy to call up Sol Ruka. He shouted her out a few times and showcasing her on pre-shows with speed.
He likes her a lot. He considers her to be a Bianca type, but Sean isn't really trying to relinquish her yet. And I don't think she's getting called up. I think she's doing another year of NXT. And I think she's going to. Well, I think this is actually going to be a big elevation year for Sol Ruka in the sense that I'd expect her to run with that North American belt. I think she's going to do a program with Zarya, and I think she's going to move up the card to the main event world title scene. I would expect one more year for Sol. And by the time she's called up, she'll be so much better that she'll be ready to be like a push girl on the main roster when she comes.
Billy Fubel, $1.99. What's Drew's direction? He's stuck in the mid card.
Yeah, he's doing this shit that he's doing now, basically. They were gonna do him and Cody, but that was before they decided to turn John Cena heel. So I don't know what they do now. They could still do Drew and Cody non-title though in the springtime.
Yeah, they could have Drew troll Cody for like a month or two about not winning, and they could go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Because Drew was the last person to pin Cody, besides Cena.
Mm-hmm.
CN €2. That EO pop last night. Oh, and Dwayne. That EO pop last night. # top girl. # ace. # her company. Bro, she's getting over, Ibu. She's getting really over.
She's like the top babyface ace of the company, in my opinion.
Hush 199. No joke. How do you boo guys like Braun and Jacob? That's like, dude, like
They're just too fucking cool, bro. They're just too
like they're
fucking
just
cool.
like it's just too insane, bro. You can't. I'm not gonna
That's why
sit here and
I'm
see.
not gonna complain because like I love Braun and I love him being with Heyman, but like, bro, if that's why a part of me was thinking maybe you do like I don't know, maybe you put Bronson Reed with Seth and have Braun be one of the guys fighting against the bad guys, because then you'd always be able to just cheer for Braun running out and spearing people. But I get it, I get it.
Yeah, nah. Vanjiminator 199. What do y'all think about the Jeff Cobb TJP geek off? I just think that people should be nice to each other.
I thought it was really sad and unfortunate that it played out in front of wrestling fans. And when you start typing out like expose multi-page paragraphs about people, it's just like, brother,
Like,
he's
who
making
is this for? Who is this for?
yeah. Who's this for? I'm too old and grown and too employed to care about this. And I just had no interest in reading half of that, and it's a shame it had to happen publicly.
Ibu Mania 14, 199. I heard Lola Vice gets called up. I don't know where you heard that from because that's not happening. So
I don't know. I mean, they wanted during the transfer window season at the beginning of the year, they were talking about bringing her up to SmackDown. I don't know where that stands now currently. I
but the
do.
problem with that is though she's not good enough yet to be a sustainable piece on the roster to not be like a cut in 9 months. That's not me disrespecting her.
You think so? I
That's
don't
not me
think so.
disrespecting her. It's just I
I
don't
think
think she's ready yet. I don't think she's ready.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
She's only been there like a year and a half, so I definitely don't think she's ready. Speckles 499 with AEW helping facilitate the Dean shows. Would they be willing to help Sari doing one of her ism shows in America? She's expressed wanting to.
Would they help? I have no idea. I have absolutely no clue. I'll ask somebody in AEW about that though. Keep that Speckles. Just keep that question in mind, and I'll ask them. That'd be really awesome.
Sway 499. Shadur will start week 3 at the latest. White people will always be scared of a black man / woman with confidence. That's true. That's true. Amari 316 $10. Random thoughts with WWE buying AAA. Evil was 100% correct on the homogenization of global pro wrestling. Many people, including myself, didn't see the bigger picture at the time. Remind me of when you said this and why you said this.
I just said that we're heading towards a pro wrestling where everybody wrestles the exact same all over the world, because it's going to get globalized and homogenized. I said it months ago, and it was a big thing, and it was a multi-week Twitter arc, so to speak. But I saw all this coming, and that's what I'll say right now. I saw all this coming, and yeah.
All right. Ryan Cicchini, 279 Canadian. McAfee should be a part-time heel manager.
Sure, anything that takes him out of commentary.
I feel like he could get some people that need to get over. So Joff Flakes 199. Logan Theory Waller. We got hashtag swipe right already. Oh my god, please talk. Please talk. DB the Sage 499. That Kreese push died after they fucked up in a match with Priest.
Yeah, they unfortunately they continue to shoot themselves in the foot over and over and
Yeah.
over again.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it's like that spot that they did with Rey Mysterio is like a usual spot that they do with everybody. It's just that Ray's older, bro. He's getting older. His body's breaking down. But you can't be yanking 50-year-old Rey Mysterio out of the ring like that, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Cien, €2. Lyra Valkyria, hashtag good woman. Yes, hashtag good woman
Agreed.
indeed.
Absolutely.
Ryan Cicchini, 279. Lyra good at being a baby face with some swagger.
I'm
True.
really, I'm really happy with the wrestler that she's becoming, and I think by the end of this year, she's going to be one of the top women in the division. Rob,
What'd you say? Sorry, I got in the text
just,
message. What did
just
you say?
read. I already answered the super. Just read the next one.
Okay.
No,
Deep
you
to
know
say
the
is
one before
490.
this. The one before this, Rob.
I thought you said you read that one. What the fuck?
No, no,
Anyway,
I read the one before, and
I'm
then
gonna
you went
find
to
it.
this one, and you just
I'll find it. I'll find it. Give me 1 second,
fuck
bro.
me, Rob. Holy shit!
You could have just read it, nigga. What? I don't like. You read all the rest of it. What the fuck? Anyways, with Billy Fugle 199, is WWE aware of how bad the Cena Cody finish was?
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
they pretty much they addressed it the next day by having Cena go on Pat McAfee and be like, "That's the point. I'm ruining wrestling." So that's basically how they addressed it. Um,
Oh, brother.
and that's how The Rock addressed it the same way. So, DB the Sage 499. Nah, Ibu, you was Team Bianca the whole build. You switched up on EOFC in like December.
I never switched up on EOFC. I'm the leader.
Yeah,
Of the
no, I don't think I don't think he did switch up on EOFC.
I've been EOFC, man.
Hush 499. You know, Cena never had to fake cry multiple times, garner sympathy. He's never drawn 1.3 as champion, doesn't have an ugly ass tat. Not about Cody, by the way.
Folks, I'm
Yeah.
going to be breaking some big news on Self-Made right after this show. If you're not in, follow at Self-Made PW, and the link is in the bio to join the Patreon. That'll get you right into the Discord. And like I said, I will be dropping some pretty notable professional wrestling news right after this podcast. You guys can tune into that.
Yes, they are. Yes, we are. Johnny Burney, 199. I knew it. MAGA Reigns was a work, right? IBs. Yeah. Hush 199. Cody finally getting booed everywhere. Smarks good. Oh my god. Yo, when Cody comes back and gets booed, oh man. Honest Assaulting, $2. 100 low keys versus one gorilla. 100 low keys is taking that, bro. 100 low keys is taking that. Amari 316 with the last super chat, $2. Triple H is killing kayfabe because his ego is hurt.
I don't know why he's doing it, but he needs to stop.
I don't know why y'all keep asking me to make the product better and me to make the product more cohesive with actual storylines. I mean, it's not like this shit is real. It's a fucking movie, bro. It's a movie. We're doing a movie, bro. So I don't understand why you're trying to make this shit real. I'm trying to make a movie, and y'all trying to tell me to make actual cohesive storylines that make sense. Please leave me alone and let me make my movies, bro. Like, I don't understand that. That's Triple H is really bad at his job.
It's been a fun show, Rob. We're about to wrap up. Before we do, I'm going to give you guys one more thing. Again, we will be in the Self-Made Discord. If you don't want to miss it, get in now if you're not, because with this one, I don't think I'm going to repeat myself anytime soon. So I'll be in there with the gang. We'll chit chat and go from there. Raw was a good show, mainly because of the women. I don't really want to watch Logan Paul versus Jey Uso, and WWE has a bit of an issue on their hands with the crowds in terms of cheering for the desired person. So we'll see how that gets evolved, and we'll see what happens. But I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Thank you for watching. It's been a nice afternoon show. 535 people watching at the moment. Again, for Rob, for me, this was the Raw Review, and I'll see you guys next week.
Going live on Twitch, but y'all are